This is to the people that have insanely big hearts. Like, your heart is so fucking big. All you want to do is give people love. All you want to do is help others. Even when people do you wrong, you still want to help them in a way. Like, you still want to give them love, because when they do you wrong and then they come back and they're suffering and they're in pain, and in some way you still feel empathy for them because your heart is that fucking big. If you're that type of individual, I promise you, you are rare. You are special. You're a fucking gift. You're exactly what's needed in this world to bring change. You're exactly what's needed in this world to bring awareness, to bring consciousness, to raise people's frequency, to raise people's vibrations. You're exactly what's needed in this fucking world. That's why your heart is so big, because God, the universe, wants to use you as a vessel to help others. You want to be used as a vessel to help others. So because you're the vessel that is used to help others, you need to go through the most pain. You need to suffer the most. And that's only because you need to be the strongest. If you're meant to help other people, you're supposed to be the strongest. Maybe not physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you're the fucking strongest. That's why you go through so much pain and suffering, so now you can relate to others. Think about this. If you've never been through any pain and suffering, how would you be able to help anyone? How would you be able to give your love to anyone? How would you be able to raise consciousness and awareness if you've never been through pain yourself? Because if you haven't been through pain yourself, you won't be able to relate to people's problems. You won't be able to relate to people's struggles. But now that you have been through so much pain, now that you have been through so much fucking suffering, you're now able to relate to others. You're now able to help others. You're now able to share the same. You may have went through more experiences than others, but you could share similar experiences to others because you went through so much pain and suffering. Because God wants to, again, use your vessel to be a fucking warrior. You're meant to be a fucking warrior. That's why you've been through so much, and that's why your heart is so fucking big. And there's times where you're like, fuck, why is nobody else like me? Why am I so alone? But here's the thing. If there was other people like you, that wouldn't make you special. That wouldn't make you unique. There can't be other people like you. There is no one like you. And that's what makes you who you are. Again, that's what makes you special. That's what makes you unique. Because no one else is like you. No one else has that big of a heart. No one else is still willing to spread love when they've been hurt so many times. Nobody else is wishing the best intentions on people that have done them wrong. No one else is trying to help people that have done them wrong. That's why you're special, because no one else is like that. Most of society is filled with sociopaths and narcissists. Dead fucking ass. So I know at times it may feel like you're fucking alone. It's so fucking tough. But just know that you have the strength to get through it. You're a warrior. You're the one. That's why you're going through everything that you're going through. To elevate, to inspire, to help the collective, to raise the consciousness, to raise frequency, again, to raise vibration. That's why you've been through so much pain and suffering. That's why your heart, again, is so big, because you are gifted with a huge heart. Not everybody has that gift. Not everybody is empathetic. Not everybody. Empathy is a spiritual gift, because you're able to feel everybody else's emotions and everybody else's feelings, everybody else's energy, frequency, vibration. You feel all that shit. So because you feel all that shit, that's a spiritual gift. Like, you're more spiritually sensitive. Like, you may be more spiritually sensitive to lights, to sounds, to everything around you, but that's because your capacity to feel things are way greater than the average human. Basically, imagine this. Imagine someone's like volume all the way at 100. Your volume is at 200. Your volume, your capacity for empathy is at 200. Everybody else is at 100. Your volume for sights, sounds, everything is at 200, while everybody else's volume is only at 100. That's why you're so sensitive to all these things. But this world wants to make you believe that there's something wrong with you and you're sensitive. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you have a spiritual gift. That's why you have more capacity to feel emotions compared to the average human, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to become conscious and aware that you have more capacity to feel things. That's why you're so empathetic. And that's why you come off as really fucking sensitive, especially as a kid. You may have been a crybaby, and it's not even your fucking fault. Again, there's nothing wrong with you. You just feel things way deeper than everyone else. You feel sadness deeper. You feel anger deeper. You feel happiness deeper. You feel depression deeper. Every fucking emotion there is, you feel it deeper than the average human. There's nothing wrong with that. You're worthy. You're so loved. Love you. Bye.